Welcome everybody to the Conservation Commission meeting, June 1st. We're starting at 6:32. From right to left, we have Christy Bradshaw for her first meeting. Cynthia Glenn, Gage Perry, Mike Bouvier, Jody Valancourt, and me, Matt Guerin. Do we have public comment? No? Okay. We have no appointments, so we'll jump right into statutory advisory business. Marty? If you could sign in. You can sit down there and just make sure your microphone, push the button right in the middle, make sure it lights up green, bright green. There you are. To let you know what we've received, we received the map and the page that you sent on May 5th. You can begin.
Well, they told me to come in. You guys have a question for me. I'm ready to answer anything you ask me for. Want me to read the letter?
Sure, that's probably a good place to start.
Okay, my name is Mahdi Shweri. I'm a resident of 480 Daniel Webster Highway. I wrote this letter for who it may concern. I would like to establish a full service restaurant which will seat approximately 40 people. This location was formerly a restaurant called the Pizza Man, and it's grateful and under zone and rule of a restaurant. Excuse my my English.
That's okay. In fact, you don't need to read the whole thing.
Okay.
I just the meeting is televised, so it's good for the public to understand what you're looking to do.
Okay.
So I mean, we can have a conversation about it. Of a restaurant where the Pizza Man used to be.
Yeah.
I think is a good start to what we need to know. So a few things that we often ask: does the parking lot exist today?
Yes.
Okay, so the additions to the parking lot, what things do you plan to do to this existing parking lot?
Well, the whatever exists now in the parking lot has to be paved new and put the stripe on and put flashing on the way the entrance is, and that's it. Because this property has two places entrance, one on Church Street and one coming from the same Church Street beside the cemetery. Mm-hmm. You could come in this way and you could come in the other way. Just for me to make easier for the public, when we pave the parking lot, to put flash the way coming in the entrance on the street and lining up, put the white line on.
Okay. So when you pave, are you going to be growing the space that is already paved?
It's the same thing.
So just recovering it.
That's it.
Okay.
We're not gonna do anything extra. My neighbor, he's accessing his driveway at the same parking lot, but his driveway come on a side. When I'm gonna pave the whole thing and make the line. It's like for the public to know the entrance for the yellow house, it's different than a parking lot where they could park.
Understood. Okay.
You've got a listing here for, it says 15 spaces plus 2 for handicap. Is you gonna have a total of 17? Or is there
Yes.
gonna be, okay, so there's a total of 17 spaces in the top. So, this plan's got a bunch of different dates on it.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Is this plan gonna be updated with a
This-
single set, or is
I
it?
don't know if you have the same one I have, but I used the same plant that was before,
Uh-huh,
and, you know, these days, people charge arm and legs to this. I use the same one. I think you have the same one I have.
1971?
yes. This is the plan of record from downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where I have the sign for handicap, it's gonna be 2 spots for handicap.
Those, and those, where the arrows are now?
Yeah,
Okay.
beside the entrance, it'll make it easier for access for people who has a carriage or a handicap chair to come in.
So, some of the items on here, you've got like the railroad ties across the front, I mean,
This is
the
used to
thing.
be before.
okay, what's the saying, which part of this is gonna, or is gonna be,
I don't know if you
Now
have
or-
this picture.
no?
Okay, can I
Yeah,
show everybody?
just pass it around, please. Thank you.
This is what's gonna look like when I'm done with it.
So you're using the existing footprint and you're redoing the building?
I'm not redoing the building. I'm just covering. See, I renovate the whole building before. I never touched the front. If you pass by the street, you could see the old front still there, the old wood, everything's still the same. The only thing what I'm doing, I'm making a wall to look like the picture and recover the top better way than the water go this way, it's come this way. That's all we're doing.
So, the paved area in front of it now,
Yes.
is that gonna be ripped up?
The paved area gonna stay. We're not gonna touch it. The only place we're gonna rip, it's where the stone wall gonna be,
Okay,
and we'll cover it with the wood for the summertime to put like chairs and umbrellas.
okay. So, well, I'm looking at the plantings in front of this, is this just picture, or are there gonna be plantings out front too?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exactly the same what you see in the picture.
All right, because that's what I'm saying, is that parking lot, that pavement runs the full length of that, front of that building.
Let me
Right.
explain to you.
Am I missing something?
No, you're right. The parking space. It used to be a parking in the front of the
Right.
building.
Yep,
See, there used to be the parking here, where's
right, which
Yes.
is this, yeah?
but the town doesn't allow parking anymore because it's dangerous on the street for people pulling in, pulling out. And we eliminate the parking in here. We left the parking in the back.
Right,
See the stone wall in here?
mm-hmm. That's the retaining wall, existing retaining wall?
Yeah. See the steps in here?
Mm-hmm.
What we doing? We building those steps. There's gonna be the stone wall right there
Okay,
beside the steps. It's gonna be the stone wall. It's come to here, and we're gonna do like a garden in here. We're gonna set it up to look.
so this will be garden up here?
Yeah, which this
And
will
so
be.
that's what I'm saying, so these plants are not really, these aren't really gonna be there?
It's gonna be, yeah.
So this pavement's gonna have to, some of this pavement's gonna have to get taken out?
See the partial for the base for the pavement in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna stay. But we doing all the work inside the property. We're not
Yep.
doing anything outside the property.
Okay. You see that? Now, the 40 plus visitors or so that you're, does that include the porch?
No.
No?
I don't know if you have this plan.
No.
No.
They don't give you anything? Okay. This is what's gonna look like on the inside. The outside on the porch, probably we could use, probably we couldn't use. All depend on in the summertime. You know, not too many people. We have a short summer.
Right.
We're not. Some people they don't like, but we're gonna make it look like a porch, and the place gonna be named called La Terrasse. I don't know if you're familiar with the French language. La Terrasse, it's mean the porch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the name of the place. It's gonna be La Terrasse. We're gonna make Lebanese food and French food. It's gonna be mixed. I'm Lebanese, my wife French. You know? We're trying to make everybody happy. You know?
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Just so I understand. The existing covered porch
Yes.
will become this more of a glassed enclosure?
It's gonna be all in the front. It's a glass, and the glass in the good weather will be sliding together.
Nice.
Will be wide open. It's like you sitting on a terrace. In the winter time, it's closed. In the summertime, it will be open.
So this glass portion is the existing covered porch?
Yes.
And this deck that you're showing with
This
the
is gonna be
plantings will
straight
be
there.
will be out here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You want-
Sit on this part.
Oh, no.
They make me copy this 12 like this, 12 like this, and I am surprised you don't have any of those.
Probably for the planning board tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Baby, yeah.
So one other question
Go ahead.
I have, your snow removal.
Yes.
I see what I believe to be snow storage area.
It's on the left side, with the street going all the way down. You're gonna have a space for storage for snow. Plus, you know, Church Street, when a town plow, they plow all the way to make the street good. They push it on the left, and they push it on the right. They make a pile. But at the end of the parking lot, when I push the snow, I have like a grass area in the corner. This is where all my snow in the driveway is gonna be pushed to that grass area. And if we have a year like last year, you have to remove it. You know. Plus, I've been in town for 15 years. I don't know if is my face familiar. I used to run Classic Gas. Me and my brother, we owned the land. I don't know if anybody remember the place.
Yep.
Used to be a dump.
Yep.
Now it's a beautiful building, you know. But for the snow, if came like last year, you have to remove it. You can't, you know.
And also after you plow
Yes.
and you treat the surface, what are your plans for ice melt?
Like everybody does, something to make sure nobody gonna slip and sue me. You know. See, I run a gas station before. I know what to do. You have to make sure the place is nice and clean, because you don't want a problem. And some people, they do it on purpose. But if you prevent it, nobody could do it for you.
Typically, we like to see people that are going to apply sand instead of like a rock salt
Okay.
or something that is harmful
Okay.
to the water supply. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why you're in front of us today, is because you're in the Wellhead Protection District. So our drinking water comes from groundwater.
Yes.
Rock salt
Okay.
isn't good for drinking water.
Whatever you suggest for me, I'll do. I'm a man who follow the law. Whatever make people happy. You don't want me to put salt? I wouldn't put salt. I'll use sand. I'll make sure it's scrape good, and I'll use sand.
Okay.
You know.
We do really like to see that. So
Okay. I don't have any problem. Then what I should do when I pave, the Swiss people, they don't pave the street as a flat. They make it like a little crunchy. Doesn't, I don't know if anybody been in Switzerland.
It's a little more porous pavement.
There you go. And we could make it like this. That's why the snow or the ice wouldn't be a flat. It'll be crooked, and we put sand on it. It will be fine.
Okay, that's preferred.
I'll do whatever please the people, and I don't want any problem too.
So what's the timeline?
See, I'm a handyman. I do most of the work myself, and I'm gonna work with the people in downtown, the building people, the inspector, the framework. I'm gonna ask them what they want, and I'm gonna do. Probably I will use companies who does heating system, plumbing, electricity, but most of the rest of the stuff I could do myself, me and my brother.
When? I mean, when do you think? I mean,
I
just
think
curious. I
it's
mean,
gonna,
what's your guideline to try to be open? When do you think you're gonna be?
I think it's gonna take me 4 or 5 months to do it.
Okay.
It's not something I have $1 million and I have so many people to do it, but I'll try to do my
So
best.
grand opening in December, maybe.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the big party, you mean?
Yeah.
Probably. I hope before
Fresh fruit
that.
for New Year's.
Yep.
It'll be good for New Year's. Well, we'll make the opening on New Year's Eve.
There you go.
There you go.
French and Lebanese food. I'm so excited.
I know. I was excited too. Like, nice to have something different
Yep.
come into Merrimack. So.
Well, this will give the town of Merrimack something different than what they usually eat all the time. Pizza, pizza, pizza.
Donuts.
At least they'll have a healthy food, something new, and I think all the men they're gonna be mad at me because all the women they're gonna order Lebanese food for supper.
Anybody have anything else?
I'm good.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks to you.
As you can hear, we're looking forward to it.
Yes.
I'm hoping. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll see any of you tomorrow night.
Should know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, so the next is old business, Ned Pipeline. The only update that I received for this meeting was from our ecologist, and it was very brief. June is the month in which a lot of the surveying is done. We did receive a bit of information from Jeff, and I'm trying to get back to it now.
Find some turtle nesting sites during the right away or something.
Yes.
No surprise, he said that there's habitat in the proposed right-of-way, which I don't think anybody's surprised about that. The other comment
Snapping turtles.
that he made was, wow, there sure are a lot of vernal pools on Horse Hill Nature Preserve. No surprise there. Then he talked about trying to get in expert in to help him with the bat study. Those were the talking points that I remember from it.
Nice
Yeah,
article,
the-
by the way.
I didn't read it yet. I sent it, but I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
The one other piece was some toads that are of interest in the state of New Hampshire. that he didn't expect to find that he found.
Nice.
So, not a lot of details, because he's like I said, still in the surveying phase. But he found a few things that he wasn't expecting to find this early, like the turtle nesting habitat and the Fowler's toads. So I'm sure we'll get more, but that's what we have for now from Jeff.
Do you want information that was shared at the town council meeting?
Please.
Which I had to be excused from. I had a conflict, but I did watch the tape, and I don't know if you were there, Christy,
I was
correct
there.
me if I'm wrong. I think two of the most important things, my opinion, was one was the correction of the affected landowners.
Yes.
The number of landowners, what was Kinder Morgan saying, 61
61.
affected landowners in Merrimack? There's 152. So there's a little bit of difference. And some of those are common landowners on Whittier Place. They're all landowners of the common area.
Oh, okay.
Some of them, but not,
So was this correction, did we find it, or did Kinder Morgan come back?
no, we did. Merrimack did the work. So what we've done now is like, okay, we've got this large discrepancy, what do we do? So the town manager is in discussions with the environmental attorney, with Joanna, to talk about how to present, the best way to present this information in a timely fashion to FERC, so that they have the accurate information on Merrimack. A couple of the others, in addition to, that they left out too, were, we've got Pan Am Railroad and Eversource. They're affected landowners that I don't believe Kinder Morgan had listed on their numbers. So that was one thing. Then the other thing was the permission to survey document that keeps going back and forth. I believe, did Tim send it out to the entire, so many emails, I can't.
Yeah, we've not seen a copy of the revised one.
You haven't, okay, because I know I was working on getting a copy, but it's been revised again since I was working on getting you a copy, but I'll continue to try and get you the updated copies as soon as they come through. There were a couple of changes, and one of them, our attorney, I don't want to misquote her. She wasn't okay with the change. They wanted to delete "in advance of submission to FERC," which is on page 3 of 4. I've got the document here too, if you want to look at it before you leave tonight. So they said the town shall receive and have reasonable opportunity to comment upon any report or other documentation of the results of the TGP activities under the agreement, and they wanted to cross out prior to submission to FERC, and we object to that. We're not agreeing to that. So as it stands now, we still don't have an agreed upon permission to survey document between the town and Tennessee Gas Pipeline. So they are still not allowed to survey until we have this hammered out and agreed upon.
Now, because we're doing this, does that give us a little bit of good faith with FERC that we're trying to get them on the property? So
I think that's what our legal counsel is advising us. I think there's differences of opinion on that about, I know some people are interpreting allowing survey meaning that you're in favor of the pipeline, and that's not the case with us. So, but yes, if it were to go that far, we could say, look, we've tried to negotiate a reasonable survey agreement with them, and they're being unreasonable. Some of the things that they're not agreeing to really are unreasonable. So hopefully if it were to come down to that, we'd be looked at as having acted in good faith. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Thanks.
Thank you.
Did we ever find out why there were orange flags in Horse Hill? Did anyone hear anything? No.
Tim was supposed to ask Jeff, right? I don't know. I'm assuming if it was something that it wasn't supposed to be, we would have heard about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Okay. I was just curious.
Are they
No.
still there?
I don't know.
you been out on Horse Hill? Have you seen orange flags? No.
I was up there. Yeah, it's out there.
Okay. Maybe it was Jeff, just for a short time or something.
were
and
they?
pulled it. I can't remember
By
now.
signpost 11, and back to like signpost 4,
Which trail names? I know the trail names, but
on loop.
on the
Yeah. Somewhat in the area of where they would be.
It wasn't the archery people?
No,
Okay.
on the other side of the lines.
I didn't see him a couple days ago. But I'm colorblind too, so.
Oh, my.
Oh, you're a lot of help. I'll make myself a note to follow up and ask Tim,
Oh, okay.
okay?
The FERC website has been down. Well, I tried to go on yesterday and today, and I wasn't able to get on, so I don't know why, but.
I was enjoying the fact that I wasn't getting hounded by emails today.
And now you know why. Yeah, now you know why some things, you know.
That's why.
Maybe it was inundated and, you know, crashed or something, but.
Imagine when it comes back up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
All right, good.
Anybody else on the pipeline?
No, the only other thing was Tim asked for us to keep brainstorming about questions for a scoping meeting. I understand that there's a good possibility that their final application is not going to be presented in September 2015 because FERC has basically written to TGP with like 45 pages of questions that they expect them to answer. And
Have you read that document? You read that response?
I haven't read all
They're
of
not
it.
just questions.
Yeah.
They're question 1, subpart A, B, C, D. You know, it's their research.
So thinking is that it's going to take quite a bit of time for them to respond to that, and September 2015 isn't going to be obtainable for them to get their application in. And that really is, as part of the process, is what the scoping meetings are depending on. So until we move along further with that, we won't hear any news about when and where scoping meetings are. But in the meantime, trying to figure out, jot down some really good, meaningful questions. It's not a bad thing to be prepared just in case we get caught off guard with them filing on time. We're very close to it.
What type of questions should we be thinking of?
Well, my guess is each department I don't know. No one's actually discussed who's going to ask what formally. But the way I imagine it is each department is going to ask questions related to the work that they do. So the Conservation Commission, I would think, would ask conservation-type questions pertaining to the conservation land that it manages. I would imagine the Merrimack Village District would ask questions about water. The town council would ask questions that were appropriate, and the fire and police would ask questions about emergency management. I mean, that's the way I imagine it, but we haven't had a formal discussion about who asks what. I think if you come up with a good question for anybody to ask, write it down.
But the types of questions that should be asked at scoping meetings are environmental only type questions?
No,
Is that-
it's the scope of the project. I mean, any question that we have as a town. I mean, obviously we're looking at it from our little slice of the
Right.
pie, but PWD is looking at it from a different point of view. Any question that we have as a town, that we feel is going to have an impact either on us or the way we do business, whether it be fire, police, however they need to travel, in our consideration, migration of animals, mitigation of wetland impacts, things like that. What do we want to know about? And make sure that it's included in the discussion, so they have to answer it in the application process, and we have something to go back at the end and hang our hat and say, yeah, you said you were going to do this. This is what we have. Either fix it or it's okay.
And I would imagine that we don't need to reinvent the wheel on something like that, because questions like this have been asked by other conservation commissions for other pipeline projects and whatnot, so we should be able to refer to those and tailor them to our
In some
For
cases, I
interest.
think we'll be able to be broad, but in other cases, I think we'll be able to be very specific and say, the path takes you through Long Pond and Horse Hill Nature Preserve. That's our biggest heron nesting, area. What are your plans to mitigate effects of,
Mitigation is huge, I think.
of what you're doing on the nesting birds above?
Thank you.
I would just hate to see us have a meeting and have us not be prepared with
Right.
questions, that's all. So I think every time we meet to remind everybody that that's what we're looking for.
Great. Okay, so there's no new business tonight, so we'll head into other business, starting with the beaver management, beaver policy.
All right, so one of the last things that GZA is doing for us is generating a fact sheet that obviously a lot of the properties that are impacted are not under our own auspices, but they're under either private management or such a geek.
Picture of the beaver.
Yeah. That's in my backyard, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh.
So this is one of the last sheets. This is a rough draft. I didn't have time to stamp it with drafts, so we're kind of in a comment period right now with GZA. So if there's things in here that you'd like to see added or you think should be taken off, mark it up. Let me know, and I'm, the conduit to GZA, and we can get them added or subtracted as we see fit. We're trying to leave some space on here to, obviously for our own website address, and we're long-term thinking, obviously this would be also a link to the management plan itself. So somewhere here on the bottom of one of the sides, it would be a couple links that would be pertinent to just Merrimack. But this is really kind of designed to be given to landowners, whoever comes and asks us questions about it. We're finishing up, kind of going over the list of deliverables, so we're moments away from handing out the plan here townwide and starting work on the actual management plan, the actual implementation of a management plan.
I think this is great, Gage.
Yes.
I like especially that you've got something in writing to hand out to somebody saying that dam removal is generally a poor management choice. So, thanks for doing that.
I was wondering if you were the one that asked the beavers to close Loop Trail in Horse Hill, because they did a really good job.
There's a reason they're called busy beavers. They are pretty crafty.
Can speak to the animals.
Yeah. But okay.
I have a short update on the Greater Woods Police Patrol. As Matt and I said we would meet, we met last week and went over the areas that we had of concern. He told me that they would be open and considering using both ATVs and foot and bike patrols. I don't know if it was something that he had fully thought through the whole time, but there aren't a lot of his officers that are trained for the ATV patrol. So in order to cover what he'd need to cover, there would have to be people on patrol and on bike. And some of the officers are willing and excited, actually, to be out there on foot and on a bike. So I think, it might work out really well for us as far as having people out there on bikes as well. Matt was kind of thinking of a different area, so he was thinking that the ATV would be best for all of the patrols, but once we went out there and actually saw some of the areas that we were, interested in having patrolled, he was like, yeah, we couldn't get an ATV in there. So he saw it through our eyes at that point, and I think is very open to the patrols being a mixed. So I plan on meeting with him again. And I passed around, the pamphlets are back from the printer and are really good. So
Are these going into the kiosk?
I think we should. I think we maybe should do something like what has been done at Horse Hill, with like a little mailbox, and label it.
We have one on the school kiosk. Do we wanna, I can call Matt and see if he wants me to, they have an issue with putting these in there, I can send him an electronic one.
Is there a place for them to return them also, like when they're
You
done?
can put them at that.
Put 'em right back where
Right
they
back
came
in.
from. Yeah, and I think a lot of people do that at Horse Hill, because when I've gone in the map box, they're nice, pristine, and there are some that have had some use. So I think that's a common
Yeah.
occurrence, is people returning them. But this paper is very durable, so I think it would last through multiple walks through the woods.
If you wanna give me a handful of them, I'll drop them, I'll talk to Matt and I'll drop them in the box.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll do.
Does BB or Coleman does that have a box?
No, it doesn't. It has a sign now, though. So
Doesn't get a lot of traffic.
I don't think. I think the school probably gets the most traffic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
followed by Conservation Drive, and then BB. So I think we should add
It's a little mailbox, nothing special.
Yeah.
We can,
Yeah, I see them.
yeah, we can go get another one of them and find something like that. We can put it up.
A question on the patrols.
Sure.
They're starting this coming weekend, right? Did we say June?
I think he's looking to get a number of officers trained first.
Okay.
There was a lot of learning in our meeting,
Mm-hmm.
so I think he is redesigning the training that he had in mind.
Okay.
So it may take a week or two for him to get them trained, and he asked me to be part of that. So I haven't heard back from him yet if he wants me there this weekend or when he would need that to be. But I plan on, seeing something starting in June.
Okay.
We did go back and forth about the activity sheet, and each time, he'd give it back like a report almost. So I'll let you know when it starts,
Okay.
and I'll let everybody know when it
Just
starts.
curious. Yeah.
No date set yet,
Okay.
but I'm thinking June. Yes.
Right. Thanks, Matt.
Did you get to see the shooting range?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to be frank, that's not on our property.
Right.
It is affecting a lot of Merrimack residents, but I'd hate to, think that would be the main thing that they would patrol.
No, yeah. I was
Is it,
curious.
and it's not on our property. But when we were there meeting, they were shooting. So, yeah, some rocket launchers going off when we were there.
It's good for them to know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and technically it's not on conservation land, but it's pretty darn close.
and from our property, it's 2,000 yards. So I mean, it's not far, and if they're at that side of the property patrolling, yes, it's a very good use of that patrol.
Close.
But I would hate to think that we are having them go to a different location, unload there, and patrol that area first. I think that the patrol should start, and in fact, I recommended that the patrol start at Wildlife Opening 1. They leave the cruiser with the trailer right in the Wildlife Opening and start right there. And then they could, and Matt thought the same thing, they could actually bring both the ATV and a bike and and do both right from the center of the property.
And they have SUV police cars, right?
Yeah, and some of the cruisers have a tow hitch for the ATV trailer. The ATV trailer isn't that big, so.
And it's relatively, the tongue weight's pretty light. They'll be able to get down that road without much hassle.
Yeah, we drove right through
Yeah.
the whole property in a cruiser.
The lights on, the sign?
No, he didn't. He
You in
didn't.
the back seat?
He didn't.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I'm just kidding, yes. That's good.
You notice he didn't answer.
I know.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we covered the environmental impact study that's going on in Horsell Nature Preserve in Gilmore Hill. I guess it's time to review last meeting's minutes.
Sorry, I was just noticing there's one other item on here about a wetland assessment training. Is that something that any of us can attend that are interested in that, or?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh,
You don't?
That's why I
No,
skipped
it's,
it.
well, so typically, the workshops like that, we do provide the fee for, and but we have to do it by check. So we'll call Emily or whoever if you'd like to go, and it takes us a couple weeks to get the check cut. So if that's coming up prior to that, we can usually just send them a check after the fact.
Do we have anyone else attending it?
I believe Tim
Is
is.
that June 26th?
It
That's-
is.
yes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Tim is going.
Tim is trying to go. I
Yeah.
know. I'm not going to be around, so I can't go. But
Did you guys get an extra
Mike?
page, or
Mike is looking.
how do you
at-
know about this? Is this
Right
something
here
we
on
talked about before? Yeah,
It's right here.
I see it, but
Up the
I
last
just
page.
don't see all this information.
Oh,
Oh,
Uh,
we did. Tim
Oh.
mentioned it before.
I
Yeah,
have it in
and
my notes.
she just printed that. out.
Okay.
And if you got the minutes electronically, you could just click on the link.
That's the.
Yeah, I think it's on a
We,
Friday.
we spoke about that.
Oh, okay, that's why I
Yeah,
ignored
right.
it.
Because it's on a Friday. Yeah, I can't go. So there.
We spoke about that when last time when Cindy and I went to the last wetlands meeting, the mitigation meeting. We spoke about this other one coming up. So
Chrissy, if you're interested, email Tim
okay.
and let him know that you'd like to go. Just do it as soon as possible, if you know.
what's the cost of it? Does it say?
25.
25.
Usually $25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I register online and then the town reimburses, or is that okay to do?
Yes, that's how.
And I think you
But
usually
yeah, but
just
the thing
click.
is click
pay
pay
by
by
check.
check,
Oh, okay.
and then
Oh, and then the town will.
we can
Yeah.
get the check cut to NHCC and go from there.
Yeah, I can't go to that one, but I am going to one this Saturday. Off-trail outdoor skills for land conservation. So
Is that also NHACC?
I got it from their calendar, but I think it's a land steward.
CELT or Southeast Land Trust? Or
Maybe, yeah, because there was no cost. There was
Oh,
no
oh.
charge. It's in Deerfield from 9 to 2.
Enjoy. Bring us back literature or whatever they
Okay.
teach.
Yep, I'm good.
Sorry, I skipped over that. I got these. Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Because I was interested in it.
You're right, yeah, no, that's good.
All right. Now to the minutes.
I make a motion to approve,
Second.
and I have a correction. On page 1, line, is that 54? It gave Cindy credit for my comment. So instead of Commissioner Glenn, it should be Valencourt, or Town Council
Yep.
member, Valencourt. Thanks.
Any other?
I know you've got more corrections, so why don't you go next?
I actually don't, well, I don't have a whole lot, but on page 2, row 8, just looks like the T is missing from the. He provided the example. And on page 3, line 26, when he was talking, the Dam Bureau pushes things that need to be done. Did he say like pushes them off?
No, his comment was that when they find a problem that hasn't been addressed, they push to get them done. If they're on an agenda
Oh,
to be
pushes
done,
things that need to be, oh,
right.
okay.
If they're on an agenda need to be done, they tend to leave them alone and say, okay, if you're going to plan to do it here next year, whatever.
Back off, okay.
But they seem to hold you firm to your plan. So
Make the plan, okay.
I think that was what his comment was.
That's good, thank you. I don't think I had anything else.
You're kidding.
It was late last night when I was reading them, so.
I've only got two. Well, I got one question and one correction. Page 1, line 17. I believe Lauren resigned?
Yes.
So she's no longer absent from the commission. She's no longer on the commission.
I think her
that was the
resignation might have
last-
come in after
After?
the after
Okay.
the
That
meeting.
was her last meeting as a.
All right.
She shouldn't be on the next set of minutes.
Okay. And then on page 2, line. Oh wait, that's in this correction. Page 3, line 15. We do not have wedges or wedgies. We have ledge. So the coffee dam when you have a ledge. Period. And beyond that, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, I did have one more on page 12. Row 16. I think the bin should be deleted. Mr. Littleton has noted a good deal of snake activity.
Where are you? Line 16?
Yep, 16. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then let's see. Oh yeah, that's why just let her go first. 90% of them are done.
Yep, that's it.
All those in favor? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Abstain, yeah, you
Yep.
could
You'll have to
abstain.
abstain. So 501 with Christie abstaining. All right. Any public comment before we close?
The only comment is, okay, well, it's not.
You'll have to
I'm
sign
by the
in.
rules.
Please sign in.
Yeah.
Jay Francis, Clara Drive, Merrimack. So my only comment is that I do a lot of mountain biking out in Horse Hill. So if there are things to watch out for, I'm more than happy to keep my eyes out. I am a little color challenged, but I will try to discern orange from green when possible. If we know the stuff that might be out on Loop Trail and stuff. So
While we have you here for a moment, I didn't realize you lived on Clara Drive. Are you on the stream side?
well, the stream goes almost all the way around. Yeah,
Right.
the stream is behind my house. Yes.
Okay, so that's one of the areas that we are monitoring for beaver activity.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, and we had a problem early last year and
Oh, right.
and receded over the season as seemingly they moved on.
Okay.
So you've got my email.
Yeah.
So please feel free if you see something unusual happening out there, let me know.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner comments? You want to go first?
Not sure what I'm supposed to say.
I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
You can pass.
Yeah.
I do have a question related to the beavers. Is that
Please.
okay to do that now?
Sure.
I live on Whittier Place,
Okay.
and we have a pond in the center that has beaver activity. Is that something you should know about, or something that should be included?
Is it causing a problem?
No. Is that
We're trying to, we're well, I can get you the map too, we don't have to do it right now, but we've mapped throughout town where we're having activity and what areas have great habitat for activity, and trying to keep an eye on them to make sure that they're not causing a problem for either ourselves or for infrastructure like the roads or sewer or whatever. So if there's something that's a problem, yes, but and if you have activity there, then we should probably monitor what's upstream and downstream of it, because every year they have a kit, they have litters, and they live as a community for a year or so, and then they get kicked out. So it's possible for somewhere a couple hundred yards down the stream for there to be a problem now arise. So
I know that there's activity, but I haven't heard of any problems.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have anything.
I'm good.
No comment?
You? No.
Oh, come on.
Oh. Accordion month?
What do you say?
You said it. You gotta tell it now.
What'd you say?
It's National Accordion Awareness Month.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Who knew?
I have no comment.
Yeah.
I'm not following that up with anything.
Neither do I.
You need a motion? Whoa. Arm wrestle you, Cindy. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Vote on this
You
one?
can vote on this one, yep.
That is definitely a record.
I know.
Should have me more often.
Wow.
Yeah, I
We just
know.
went 55 minutes. Good lord.
So we've adjourned at 7:24.
Are we still being televised at this moment?